Let me welcome on board then Sundeep Sikka, the ED and CEO at Reliance Nippon Life, and Kazuhide Toda, who is the head of Asia Pacific at Nippon Life Insurance. Both of them joining us right now. Gentlemen, morning. Sundeep, let me come to you first. You're just back from a multi-city, multi-country roadshow for IPO. How was the response like?
No, I think this journey of roadshows continues. First, we were doing a lot of roadshows in India, in small cities and towns to get retail investors, which has been a focus for us. And I think today we are seeing the industry getting the enormous flows from small cities and towns. After we've announced our roadshow, we have also done, after we've announced our IPO, we have done roadshows and we started with Japan because of Nippon Life, and we have done in Singapore, Hong Kong, US and Europe. The response has been very good. I think we'll wait. Tomorrow is the anchor book, and I think overall the response has been very, very encouraging, and we look forward to support of retail investors and institutional investors from across the world in the next few days.
Mr. Toda, Nippon Life Insurance is the largest investor in financial sector in the country. You've taken stake in both asset management as well as life insurance company. How has been the journey for you so far?
In very short, it was a great journey. We made our first strategic investment in Reliance Nippon Life in 2011. In 2012, we made our strategic investment into Reliance Nippon Life Asset, and we increased our stake gradually. The journey was great, especially Reliance Nippon Life Asset has been growing, frankly speaking, rapidly more than what we expected, and we are very satisfied with this.
All right. Sundeep, flows have been very strong for the industry as well as your company. Do you see the momentum continue? Are Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities throwing up more flows?
I think we are going through a structural change in this country. We have never seen more investors coming from small cities and towns. Today, as we talk today, we have nearly, as an industry, more than 1.5 crore systematic investment plans which are investing in excess of 5,500 crores per month. And this, like you mentioned, this is a change. This is irreversible. For the first time, we are seeing the money being invested by the domestic institutions is more than the foreign institutions. And clearly, there's a lot of the initiatives taken by the government are also supporting this. We personally believe for us, because we are a very retail asset management company, our focus is in small cities and towns. The pulse that we are getting from very small investors in small cities and towns has been mutual fund is becoming a part of their monthly wallet. I mean, SIP is becoming synonymous with the regular monthly investments, which is to do with whether to do paying electricity bills or paying EMIs. So I think this change is going to be, the change is irreversible. The money is going to keep increasing. If you look back, I mean, in 3 years, in the last 5 years, the industry has grown 3 times. Who would have imagined that would have happened? So I think we're at a very tipping point with the structural changes happening. I think the retail investors from small cities and towns, till now this industry has been focused on the top 10 cities of India or top 15 cities. But this change that is happening in small cities, I think this is going to see a lot of more flows coming into the Indian capital markets through mutual funds. And asset management companies like ours, I think who've been focusing on retail, we clearly get a pulse that I think this flow is not going to slow down.
In that light, then, how do you assess or see the asset management industry in India as compared to Japan? What is your view on the growth of the industry?
According to the World Bank statistics, the mutual fund asset size compared to the GDP in India is about 7%. If you see the same ratio in Japan, it is about 17%. This means that there is a big potential for the asset management industry in India. Of course, the GDP in India has a much higher growth than in Japan. The GDP in India is growing at a 7% speed. So I believe the asset management industry in India has a very big potential for growth. That's my view.
So Sundeep, the entire NBFC space and the asset management space right now is the hot space. But I'm sure investors must have asked you some big picture questions. What was the questioning really centered around when you were talking to investors?
Across the world, investors are very happy and excited about the India growth story. And clearly the asset management industry, being the first asset management company to go for listing, has its own advantage. While we all have been talking about, Toda and also just talked about the growth in GDP, the financial savings have been increasing in India, and India is going through a very structural change. If you were to see under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, ever since various initiatives that we have seen, whether Jan Dhan, demonetization, Aadhaar and digital, I think India is going through a very big structural change. And also, as they are headed towards a low interest rate regime, we clearly see a lot of this money which has been lying in bank accounts will move into the mutual fund industry. A lot of investments which used to go into physical assets, whether they were gold or real estate, that is moving into the mutual fund industry, into financial assets. And world over, investors are really appreciating what the government is doing, and also I think also appreciate the fact that while a lot of them have been playing the India story, but to play the India financial story till now there was no Indian asset management company which was listed, and that has been taken very positive by the institutional investors across the world.
So, Mr. Toda, apart from being the shareholder, how is it that you support Reliance Nippon Life Asset Management business?
Yes, we are trying to support this company in various ways. Let me give you some examples. My first example is about our collaboration in Japan. We have launched 3 Indian funds already for retail Japanese investors, which the fund is distributed by many Japanese regional banks and distributors, and even in smaller cities in Japan. Currently, the AUM of those 3 funds are close to $1 billion. This is my first example. Second example is in Thailand. We have some collaboration in Thailand. In September this year, Bangkok Bank Asset, which has a very close relationship with Nippon Life Group, launched an Indian equity fund. This fund is managed by Reliance Nippon Life Asset. The AUM of this product reached $40 million in the first few weeks. Those initiatives, I believe, we made it able because of our very close relationship. In addition to that, those give us good AUM for the company, and also it gave opportunities to.
Okay, Mr. Toda and Sundeep, thanks both of you for taking the time out and joining in, and good luck for this collaboration.